Up next, we've got Jesus Loves You calling from the UK with general questions about the host's morality.
Someone's told me that, by the way, that Jesus loves me. I've heard that before.
I've heard that too. That's a mouthful. It's a lot of syllables. Can we call you like JL or something?
No. Just I really would appreciate and be very happy if you could just take the time to say it all. If you can't, that's okay. But if you would,
I already said it. I'm not gonna do it again.
I'm not gonna keep repeating Jesus loves you on the show.
Yeah, I'm not your parent.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. If you can demonstrate to us that the proposition Jesus loves you is true, I'll say it all day long. Easy as that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll accept that as well.
So one day, all right. Okay, so well, my question was about morality, but just before I do, I just wanted to find out if you think Christians hate you, or if you think
I don't care. Like I just it's not part of my concern. I don't care if somebody hates me. Like that's their prerogative. I don't care. It's the last thing I'm worried about.
I would say some may. I think that built into their theology, there's supposed to be love towards all people. So I would say that most Christians, from their own perspective, would probably say that they love us. I would say that also built into their theology would be the idea that a all-powerful, all-knowing God created Jmike and I, knowing that we would be atheists and that we would be on the fast track to eternal punishment. So I would say that maybe their God hates us, but I don't think that the Christians would say that they hate us. They just worship a God that does.
Okay, I would say not really, but anyways, that would be a long discussion. But my question, I was saying like not really in terms of, thanks for the answers. I was saying not really in terms of no Christians. I don't think, they obviously Christians. There may be some people who say they're Christians or who are really Christians who hate atheists and not really God, but God doesn't hate. But anyways, thank you for answering. And again, if we go into that, will be another discussion. But
are you sure God doesn't hate?
Morality.
Isn't there a passage in the Bible that goes something? Isn't there a passage in the Bible that goes something like, like Jacob have I loved, but Esau I've hated, something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for raising that up. So there's this YouTube channel called The Bible Project, and they do focus on, maybe you know it already, they focus on the types of literature in the Bible and trying to get it from the original translation. One of the guys, he's actually studied the language. I think it's, Hebrew or something. They try and explain the types of literature in the Bible. And I'm not really that learned. I'm just like very young and I don't know the exact words, but the types of, for example, there is a part where God does say, go and slaughter the Canaanites, go and leave no one living there. And then there are times where God says, I am a jealous God.
Let's JL, let's start with this. Let's start with this because you want to talk about morality and you mentioned the Canaanites. And I mentioned on the last call with Joe, at least, that there is a command from God to Saul to kill Amalekite infants in 1 Samuel 15:3. Do you think that that's morally right?
First of all, in 1 Samuel, all the commandments and orders are found in the Old Testament. So everything that could be.
But the question is,
it doesn't matter.
The question isn't where are they found. The question is, do you think they're right?
Well, yeah, and let me. This is one thing that really bothers real fast. I know, but real fast. You brought up. You walked into a pitfall here. When you say that's the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And you're claiming you have an objective source of morality. And then you're literally backing off of that into moral relativism by saying that was not okay, or that was okay then, it's not okay now. No. Objective morality means that moral dilemma X is wrong at any time. T equals 1, T equals 2055. It's wrong all the time. It does not change. There's not an exception. The second you add an exception to that thing, it's not objective anymore. It's done. You've killed your own position, dead in the water. So I'm telling you, I'm just saying that now, and we can go back. Do you think that it was right or wrong? And if you say it was right at one point and not okay, you've defeated yourself. Like, I don't even have to say anything.
All right. First of all, could I, if you would allow me to explain, in terms of having objective morality, I'm not sure what that means. And I know some people think this is stupid of me to admit or come here,
No,
I'm not 100% sure. I just know that, wait, please help me. Please let me.
No, I was agreeing with you.
I know that, I follow God. All right. Okay. Thank you. I follow God. And from what I understand from the Bible, so the Bible is a big book and it's quite complicated, I would say, and or maybe simple for some. But the Bible is not really something. It's not really just a set of commandments of this is who God is. This is how He wants things done. As I said, the Bible Project, it explains this, the types of literature used, and the structure of which the Bible was made. So it's not just, okay, do this, do that. This is how God is. This is how He wanted. This is how He wanted things. This is how He wants things to be in 5 years or in 2,000 years more to come. It's more of a story of how things took place as well. And it's not just a story of how things took place, but also connects from the Old Testament. So in terms of what you said, what is said in Samuel is there are certain, from a certain book, I'm not sure which one, to a certain book, that's where all the laws are found. And those laws applied to certain people. And they did so because of certain reasons. Mostly things like killing animals, making sacrifices. Those were connected to life and death and to your, as you say, the Bible Project does explain this, like, because they lived with God in the wilderness as they were traveling. So the killing of animals, things like that. And so in some of the books, God does command, let's say the New Testament, though they...
I'm not moving to the New Testament. I'm not moving. No. Let's not. We're not moving to the, because I'm sorry to be rude, but you're evading my question. You're going on a long tirade of something that's just avoiding my question to you, which is, it's a simple answer. Was it right or not right to command the killing of infants? Was that right or was that wrong?
It was right.
It was right to kill infants.
Explain why.
Please,
yes.
Please explain why. I've got to hear the justification for slaughtering infants.
Okay. All right. So is that the part where God commands the people to kill the Egyptians' infants? Is that it?
No. We're talking about a whole different narrative. But the real question is, in what context would it possibly be right for an authority figure to command people who are, subject to that authority to murder babies?
All right. So the reason why I would say it's correct is because in the Bible, God brings punishment to other people through other people, or should I say God brings punishment. So for example, we wouldn't say sentencing someone to death is right. I feel like it's not right. But if someone...
Wait, hold on. So you don't think sentencing someone to death is right, but you think the killing of innocent infants that had no idea what was even going on was right? I just want to clarify. That's what you're saying, right?
My last thing. No, I hadn't finished talking on that.
No, I'm sorry. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care that you haven't finished talking, because every time you start talking and you go on, you're just avoiding the actual criticism. You just said it's not right. You said it's not right to sentence someone to death, but it's okay for a God to command the slaying of Amalekite infants.
You started talking about it like, well, in the Bible, God will command people to sort of inflict this divine punishment on others. But you're just kicking the can down the road. Even if these are little evil babies, like, like what makes it a right action to command? Like that's the question. What makes it a good thing for babies to be slaughtered?
Okay, so God is the creator of life, meaning that if Christianity is true, right, of which it is.
No.
God.
No. I don't. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry. You don't get to do that because science does not in any way make any indicator that God is the creator of life. That's nonsense.
Oh, all right. So okay, all right. Let me use the word if. All right, if Christianity is true and everything like that, right? God isn't really killing people, but is taking a person from this life to the next, because we aren't here on earth forever. And no matter if those babies were to live forever or not live forever, they would eventually go to the next life, right? And
okay, so hang on. I want to make sure I'm following you. So what you just said, if I understand you, hang on. If I understand you, what you just said was, if Christianity is true, then when God orders the murder of an innocent, that innocent person, they're not really dying. They're just being transported from one life to the next. Is that what you just said?
Yes. Yes, that's what I just said, because that's what the Bible teaches.
Right. So as I repeated that back, as I repeated that back to you, I was trying to do two things at once. I was trying to demonstrate that I'm actively listening to you, but I was also kind of hoping that as you heard it coming out of someone else's mouth, that it might sound kind of bad.
Okay. All right. Which was the bad part?
Well, like all of it. So like in that context, what would be wrong with doing anything in this life? What would be wrong with anybody murdering anyone? You're not really causing harm. You're just escorting that person off to the next life.
Plus, it's so minuscule in comparison to the eternity you're going to live.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. All right, that's what I'm saying, that if God gives life, if God brings me to this earth and says, I would live 40 years, and if God brings my brother into this life and he says that he will live for 1 week, then he dies, and we are going to go into the next life. If God is the one who gives that permission to say, okay, I give people life, I give everyone life, I'm the source of life.
Do you have kids?
He has the right to do that.
Jesus loves you. Do you have kids?
Wait. I don't. How do you get to there? That if it's true, he has the right to do it. That's like, and Mike's asking if you have kids. That's like saying if you have a kid, you have the right to do whatever you want to that kid. Do you see how that follows?
No, not really. I didn't give life to that kid, and I don't have all authority. That kid has their own rights. But us as humans, if we can believe what we want, but if God ultimately is, if I choose to believe in God, and if I don't choose to believe in God, but God is defaultly the giver of life, and He has given me life. This
is like arguing that a king. This is like arguing that, like, because you have some king in some township, and you need to actually follow the rules of that. No, there's nothing about the mere obedience that goes, yes, this indicates it's right, and I should just follow this Celestian North Korean dictator. Nothing about that. It follows logically at all.
This is divine command theory, though, in essence, right? It kind of is the morality of the Bible being laid bare on this call. I wish you could see there are problems internally to what you're saying, but before we can even get there, I'd really like to try to ask you, because all of this is predicated on this giant if the Bible is true, then this sort of horrific moral picture is what we're facing. Why would we believe from the beginning that the Bible is true or should be taken seriously?
The Bible, I guess, one of the things that I could say the Bible is true. I know this is kind of, obviously this will sound stupid to most people, or some people, but I guess the hardest evidence of the Bible being true is the church. And I know other religions do have their own churches, things like that, and they'll always be there. But I guess honestly to say the Bible is true is because if let's say God is, all right, how can I put this? Sorry, but the church is there, right? And there are people who...
Yes, people believe in a religion. I don't know how that's evidence for the claim. That's,
yeah.
What?
No, there are people. No, there are people. I'm not trying to be rude, but there are people who are kind of like in a situation who are searching for the truth, or who may have found a different truth. And my truth will be in Jesus Christ, right? But then they have encounters which change their lives. And I'm not just saying that because I know, obviously people from other religions say that they have their own encounters, things like that. But taking from perspective, it's not hard for you to find people from different situations, people from different religions, people who worship the devil, people who didn't believe in any of this kind of faith stuff, and they did have an encounter with God. And
wait. How would there? You're okay. I want to jump in because here's what I'm hearing. Okay, so you're saying that the strongest evidence for the Bible is that there are people who believe the claims in the Bible, who we refer to collectively as the church. You sort of, after saying that, immediately started to hedge by saying, and of course we can find people who believe other religions too. I think that on some level, it sounds to me like you may recognize that these are bad arguments. That people believing something has no relationship to whether or not that thing is true. So you've built this sort of house of belief on what sounds to me like a very shaky foundation.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like homeopathic remedies are true, crystals healing are true, and it's just not the case. I mean, it's literally called an ad populum fallacy. It doesn't logically follow to state the amount of people that believe something is true. For example, there was something called the miracle of the sun, or the miracle of Fatima, where 30,000 people were convinced that they saw the sun move from the sky. Well, we could say people had an experience, but we actually have an implicit empirical basis for parhelions, and that is most likely what it is. It fits the data way better than the sun moving, especially since we would have all felt detrimental effects of that even happening, right? So we clearly know that that having a group of people has no indication. And you started off by saying hard evidence, and then like Kenneth said,
it's not evidence at all.
You immediately recognized it wasn't a good argument and started to make excuses for it. And this is the one thing I want to say real fast is that real fast. We are extremely good at hiding the flaws in the way that we reason, from the relationships we hold to the way that we act to the beliefs that we hold. Sitting back with these things, especially like beliefs, from the perspective that you think you've just got it figured out from this type of an argument, is the exact same reason people make mistakes in every aspects of their lives. It's the most common thing we do because we're good at hiding flaws in our reasoning. And you recognize the flaw and tried to do that exact thing.
Wait, could I explain something? But thank you for explaining that. And I understand what you're saying, that the fact that I just turned off from that point and tried to cover it up, and when I realized I wasn't good. But what I'm trying to say is, collectively, there is a reason why, I don't know, obviously not everyone is a Christian, and not everyone believes in one God. Not everyone believes in a God. Not everyone believes in anything at all, but we all do believe in something, and perhaps.
Yes, we do all believe in things, right? But the difference.
Okay. All right, no, but what I was trying to put out there is that the fact that whether those people put their they believe crystals heal and they've seen it work, and they cling to that, but this is the true thing, or whether it's the statues of Hindu God, or whether it's the God of the Bible, or whether it's the collective idea of that humans have this thing. That's what I meant is the evidence that
no, it's evidence that people believe things for bad reasons, and that's all that's evidence of. It's not evidence for, it doesn't follow from the claim. And sorry, just loves you. Your audio is popping a lot, so we're gonna
have to wrap this call up because the audio is really bad. But JL, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about coming up with the best reason you have for believing that the Bible is true. Okay. I want you to think about truth as being that which is consistent with reality. And I want you to think about evidence as being anything that can be used to demonstrate that a claim is true. Okay. So think about those two things, find some evidence, and call us back. In the meantime,
and also churches aren't evidence. If that's the case, like I live in Georgia, there's one on like every corner. I would be a theist by now if that was evidence.
And if for most Christians who I've heard use this argument, if you were to tell them that evidence for the Quran is the just existence of Islam, they would not find that convincing at all. So just think about it a little bit, JL, and call us back.